Hi, my name is Pop. I'm making a video tutorial for YouTube in Ubuntu Basics showing a little bit about how to add screensaver videos and how not to add animated screen tops. I do not have an animated screen top. I've got a low power laptop computer, and there is a method whereby you can put a background image up here that is an animation. However, it is not a movie. It is actually something like an animated design, and that's usually what a screensaver is. When you have a screensaver now, it is up here in system settings, and if you open that up and go to the brightness and lock, it says that you are going to dim the screen after 10 minutes. You can change that, and all it does is just go to black. Now, they changed that in 11.11. In 11.11 you used to have these cool looking little cartoon movies for screensavers, and they removed it. I mean, it's kind of something you don't need to do anymore. Years ago, when you had a cathode ray tube as a monitor, those things had memory, and if you let your computer stay on all night, an image would get burned like a ghost into your screen. But with the new modern LEDs, that doesn't happen, so you can leave on any which kind of image for days, weeks, months, years, and it's not going to really affect your screen, hopefully. However, you can get that back if you want to do so, and I miss some of the old screensavers. So I went online, and let me go online and open up my browser. I've got Firefox, and for the sake of this video I made a bookmark, and the bookmark references a really good configure screensaver discussion, and it's in Ubuntu, and this is the best one that I found. I found some other ones also. Let me zoom in on this, and I'm going to make it larger so that you can see what's cooking. Page down. How do I configure the screensaver? It's missing. And they tell you here, well, they got rid of it, but you can bring it back up. And on the first line here, it says you can remove the GNOME screensaver, the one that goes to black. And later on in this discussion, it says, well, you really don't have to. You can have both of them. So here is what you've got to type in your terminal in order to get this program. So I'm going to just copy it after highlighting it, and let me show you again how I did that. I put my cursor in front of it, right here, right in front of the S, and then I hold down left click on the trackpad or the mouse, and you can go to the end, and then when the whole thing is orange, you hit Control C. While this is up, I'm going to now hit Control Alt T to bring up my terminal, and I'll just make my terminal in the top corner over here, and I'm going to zoom in on it with a Shift F2, and to paste you go Shift Control V, and there it is. And then when you hit enter, it asks for your password. I have a single letter password, and it takes a minute. And after this program has been loaded, you can then go up to your strip on the left and look for it, and sure enough, there it is. It's called Screensaver. So I'm going to click on it, and when I click on it, it should open right up, and there it is. And you've seen these before. It must be about 50 of them or 100 of them in there, and they're all cutesy wootsy, and let's see, some of them reference things I goofed with earlier. I know you've seen all of these things. There's a little ant, and there's Lego blocks falling, and it's entertaining just to look at them. Now, these are not movies, these are little programs. But my question was, can you put an animated GIF in there? And I'm going to show you a way where you can do it by cheating. Let's turn this off Now notice I ran the program. By running the program, by going to it up here, it's only going to work if I run the program. So in this excellent file, it shows you how to add this to your startup menu, and that way you can add it, and every time you turn on the computer it's going to be on. If you change your mind, here is a way to turn the thing off and uninstall it. You can also have a background video in Ubuntu. The background video would be where this is. Now you know you can add wallpaper. You know you can add all kinds of stuff to your background image, but it's always static. And the question is, can you have a moving picture on your background? And as it is right now, when you go to system settings, you cannot. And there's a good reason for it. You burn up a whole lot, I mean a whole lot of computer power doing that. Let me just go to appearance. Is it under appearance? I never remember. Background. So you've got either wallpapers, which is a bunch of pictures that they've supplied for you, or you can just go to a single color, and over here on the left that would be a single color, and here is a gradient that goes down, and here is a gradient that goes to the right. And if you tap on this, you see how it has a starting color to the left and an ending color to the right. And if you tap on this, it's the same thing. A starting color on top, starting color on the bottom. Or you can just grab some pictures that are your own pictures to put on the background. Well, that's still not a video, and there is no way to add a video like this. Ooh, look, I changed it. I didn't mean to. It got darker. I have got a moving GIF, and I showed in a prior video how to make those. Well, do you want to show that on screen? Here's a way to do it. I am going to open up the terminal again, Control-Alt-T, and let me just put that in the corner and then zoom in on it so you can see it better. The name of the program that opens up viewing individual still pictures is called Eye of Gnome. And if you want to see what's available on the command line, you just put in -help and then hit enter. And Shazam, the very first thing that they show here is what I want, full screen. So it's -F. That is the switch. And you could do all those other things too. So let's do that. Eye of Gnome -F. And I want to put in the path to the one file that I'm going to use, which is the animated GIF. So it's home user capital D desktop /1 GIF. That's the name of the file I got. And then when you hit enter, let me unzoom it, hope there's no problem. And then when you hit enter, it's going to run that file full screen. I hope so. I'm waiting. There we go. Takes a second. Sure not fast, is it? That, by the way, is my thylacine cat. They're supposed to be extinct in Australia. They're marsupial animals, but my great-great-grandfather, Lyle Morgan, went to Australia on a schooner, and he brought back a whole bunch of marsupial animals. They were supposed to be a supplemental food source for the Comanche Nation. The president of the newly formed Republic of Texas, Sam Houston, was my great-great-grandfather's father. And he was not married. He was married to another woman. He was married to a woman by the name of Emily West, and she was a servant of a guy named Morgan. There's a piddly-ass little town called Morgan's Point, and in those days a servant would take the name of their person who sponsored them. So she went by Emily Morgan, and there is an Emily Morgan hotel. She's known as the Yellow Rose of Texas. She had gone to the battlefield of San Jacinto and had delayed the usurping general Santa Anna. He was like a dictator. He was going to take, well, he had taken over Mexico, and he was going to take over Texas and California and all like that, and he was defeated at that battle. Anyway, my great-great-grandfather had brought these animals in from Australia. They are all actually marsupials. They are non-placental mammals. He had brought also a couple of monotremes, that is the echidna anteater and the platypus, and they didn't make it. They didn't survive. But we still got lots and lots of red kangaroos. They're the big tall ones. And Comanche Indians, who were derived from the Shoshone, did not take to them. They didn't taste as good as deer or buffalo. And the way history went is they never took to them, they never ate them, and they're still there. They're still on our family ranch. We have a couple of thousand acres. It's bounded on one side by the Balcones Escarpment, and there's a river underneath the cliff there, and that river curves around and gets the other side, and there's a big fence. Most of these animals are not as smart as placental animals, and they do not wander off, and when they do, they don't fare well. They get killed off. These animals were once called the Tasmanian tiger, and they look kind of dog-like. This one doesn't. It looks like a cat. They also call them the Tasmanian wolf. It's almost like they could not decide if it's a dog or a cat, either canine or feline. Now, Emily Morgan, the Yellow Rose of Texas, was she was a person of mixed heritage. She was a mulatto, they called them then, half African, half European. And it sounds horrible to us today. I mean, that terminology. If you were 1/4, you were a quadroon, and if you were 1/8, you were an octoroon. And she is the person who invented Perriet water also. In those days, a very well-to-do person, even though they were well-to-do, they did not take a bath. They had a French thing that looked like a toilet called a bidet. And Santa Anna had one of those, and she found that he had this effervescent water imported from France. It was carbonated, and she used that to help her not conceive his child. She was a moral woman, but she was a wild woman. If Jesus Christ had Mary Magdalene, Sam Houston had Emily Morgan. And she referred to that water as perianal water. The water is, she used it effervescently by putting her thumb over the top, and it was, used as a douche. And they shortened the name from perianal to Perrier. And so today, Perrier water is sold all over the world. And many people do not know that Emily Morgan, the Yellow Rose of Texas, had invented this. Well, let's see if I can escape. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to put this little bugger in as a screensaver now. Control-Alt-K. Let's see if it comes up. Control-Alt-K. There we go. Shortcut. Custom shortcut. Add one. I'm going to call it Cindy. And then I'm going to put in the command. I wonder if that'll paste. Let me try. Control-V. No, that's the wrong one. Shoot. I better type it in. So, end of Eye of Gnome -F home pop capital desktop 1 GIF apply. Now, first of all, it's disabled, and I've got to give it a new accelerator. I'll just make one up. Shift F1, Shazam. Up, Shift F1. Alrighty, let's see if this works now. Let's close this too. Shift F1. I'm waiting. There we go. Well, it's kind of a screensaver, but you have to do it yourself. You see what I'm saying? To get it going. These animals, the thylacines, they have a backward facing pouch because they're close to the ground. Their legs, and they're like a dog and a cat. Whereas kangaroos, their pouch faces upwards. And in Australia, a lot of people eat this stuff that looks like peanut butter. It's called Vegemite, and it's rather disgusting. Australia is completely inhabited by the people who are the descendants of criminals, thugs, people who were transported. And I mean, they were kind of low people. They're still low. They're drinking Foster beer instead of Guinness, and Foster is just not that good. And they eat Vegemite. Now, you probably have heard that Vegemite comes from beer production. That's not true. It is the grungy substance that is forming at the bottom of a marsupial's pouch. When the little joey poops inside of the pouch, they scoop it out, and it's sort of like whale ambergris. Ambergris, is like, I don't know, whale poop or something. And Admiral Nelson, that hero of England, he used to eat ambergris and eggs for breakfast every morning, and it has the same cost as gold per weight. Whereas this stuff, Vegemite, oh my God, it stinks to high heaven. It's salty. Of course it's salty. It's like marsupial poop, right? And the thylacines, their Vegemite, it just falls the hell out because the pouch is facing backward. It is right near their where they go to the bathroom. Whereas with a kangaroo, see, the pouch is, the opening is at the top. So what they do to get the Vegemite out is they capture a kangaroo with a lasso or something, and they upend it head down, and they shake it a bit, and that is when the Vegemite comes out, and they put it in jars and they sell it to dumbasses. And dumbasses eat Vegemite sandwiches all day long. I cannot believe it. I mean, it smells to high heaven. It's just unbelievable. Cats, of course, though, or even cat-like creatures, homologous creatures like Cindy here, they are very, very fastidious. And I mean, she's an indoor and outdoor cat, but she still uses a sandbox, and she gets rid of that Vegemite and such. Well, I am descended from Emily Morgan and from Sam Houston. He was my great-great-grandfather's father, and Emily Morgan was my great-great-grandfather's mother. And now, my great-great-grandfather, Lyle Morgan, he left Galveston. It was a great port city in those days, and he took a schooner to the, quote, Australian islands, and there he brought back all of these marsupial animals, and Lord, he brought back nearly 100 of them. About half of them died on the voyage, and when he got them back, Sam Houston had this idea he was going to bring over elephants and camels. He was the first president of the Republic of Texas. Now, after his term was over with, a guy by the name of Lamar took over, and he committed genocide. He exterminated the Comanche Indians. It is a sad point of our history that such things have occurred, but they've occurred the world over, and you got to wonder about mankind. And here they exterminated the thylacines in Australia, but hell, they're still here roaming around our ranch, and they have taken on the shape of a regular looking cat. They do not have these stripes and such. Whenever one of them gets loose, they and if they find a dead one, they have given rise to this legend of the chupacabras. The chupacabra is a Spanish term for an animal that means goat suck. They're not fastidious eaters. They will go for the heart and the lungs, and they eat a few nibbles, and then they just leave the whole dead animal there. And the sheep farmers of Australia thought they were just disgusting. But I think they're kind of cute. Anyway, my name is Pop, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I thank you very, very much.